I thought I would try something different today, camera angle wise, and just get the whole big picture. This is a little bit, this is even harder than just the full frontal thing because I feel all exposed, not like hiding behind the table or something. So a little self-conscious, but it's okay, we're here. And don't panic if you think, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to see anything that she shows. She's too far away. I always get those comments. Don't panic. I'll do close-ups at the end if it's something that I haven't shown before. And the only thing I'm going to be doing is gluing papers together, which I'm pretty sure you don't really need a full demo for. Gah! That's my phone. Okay, hang on. Okay, I can already see one drawback to this camera angle. I can't reach the camera to shut it off real quick when something embarrassing happens. So, I'll be doing lots of editing. Okay, I want to talk again about planners. They seem to be the thing. They're not really my thing. They were my thing years ago when I had plans to keep up with. I don't so much now. I find that a wall calendar suits me fine, but I love looking through all the videos and blogs of people and their Filofaxes and what they're doing and how they're decorating them, and then they're all colorful and pretty, and it just makes me want to do one even though I don't really need it. So I'm doing one. I don't need a reason. It's fun. It makes me happy. That's the only reason I need, right? Was this something I'm going to stick with forever? I doubt it. And for that reason, I'm not investing much of anything into it except my time, which I have to invest in it right now, fortunately. So why not? Why not try something and see how it goes, even if you're not sure about it. So I've showed this before. This is the one. This was my thrift store little thing that I got and that I set up to use for the rest of this year, and I have been using it as much as I can. Like I said, there's not a whole lot going on in it, and I get very frustrated with it because of the size. This is really small, and I generally write kind of big, and I decorate big too. I don't decorate small. So that's been frustrating. So I've already showed my one that I made for next year, this one, which I've probably added a few small things to it since I showed it. But, I started just putting together something that I thought I might like for next year, something more that would suit my needs, right? So every time I look at this one, I'm like, I can't wait to use this, because it's got room in it, not just for the calendar and scheduling and stuff like that, but also I left blank pages after each month to use as like my day book, or my smash pages, whatever, or for journaling, or extra pages that I really don't have in this one, and even if I did, they would be too small. So every time I look at this, I think, I can't wait till 2014 just so I can use my new fun planner. I know, how weird is that? Okay, planner people will get it, non-planner people won't. I'm really not a planner person, but I'm trying. So then I start thinking, well, okay, why are you suffering with this one that you really don't like and longing after the one you really do like when you could just go ahead and make you one that you do like? It was like the lightning bolt hit me. It just didn't occur to me to actually do that. I just, for some reason, felt like I had to suffer through with the one that I didn't like because I went through all the trouble to make it, even though it really wasn't that much trouble. So, okay, that was just my own weirdness. And, and I also have this, this is my current day book that I usually keep in my purse, and I've shown it before, but it's almost finished. I've only got just a handful of pages left. So I started thinking, when my day book's finished, I'm going to have another one. Do I want to make a whole nother day book, or do I want to go ahead and make a calendar to finish out this year that has the debit pages in it that I'm wanting. Okay, it was kind of a no-brainer. So, here's what I did. I decided. Okay, well, before I show you that, let me tell you one of the reasons that I think I'm having trouble with the whole planner thing. And it's taken me about 150 YouTube videos to figure this out, because I'm not very bright sometimes. But I just couldn't pinpoint it. And it just hit me a few days ago. I think the issue that I'm having with the whole planner thing, it's not so much the planner itself. You know, I can keep a planner as well as I can a calendar, and I keep a calendar. I may not use it to the extent that someone would if, you know, they were working every day, or they had, their kids were still small and had a lot of activities and appointments. You know, I might not use it to that extent, but I would use it to keep up with some stuff. So what is it that has me so reluctant to jump into this big planner thing? It's the decorations. This is where I'm getting hung up. I'm pretty sure, I may change my mind tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure it's the decorations. Because I love looking through other people's and seeing what they did. Whose video did I watch this morning? Kerry Duff. Precious, precious woman. Does amazing art. She has a beautiful Filofax, and her pages are so colorful, and they're just full of writing and stickers, and it just makes my eyes happy to look at them. And I love looking through her planner and some of the things that she'd done, the way that she set it up, and I started imagining myself having a planner like hers. It wasn't working. And I think the reason is because I realized that it's the style of the decorating that is holding me up. Most of the decorations that I see are very, I mean, obviously they have to be small because, you know, you only got so much space to work with. But they're also very cute, and which I can very much appreciate in other people's work, especially those who do it well. You know, I got no problem with cute in general. It's cute. It's adorable. I love looking at it. It's not my style. I don't really do cute. And a lot of what I'm seeing in planners is really, really cute. It's, you know, it's bugs and butterflies and flowers and bright colors and Hello Kitty. I have a love-hate thing with Hello Kitty. You know, I love Hello Kitty, but I hate Hello Kitty. It's complicated, our relationship. But it's Hello Kitty. It's the kawaii looking stuff, you know, the little Japanese things, and they're precious, they're adorable, and I do love looking at them in other people's planners and in the projects that they do. But it's not something that I would want to do in my own because it's not me. It's not my style. I am not cute. Let's just say it. I am not cute. Not in my style anyway. So I think that is where I'm getting hung up, because I'm feeling like, okay, I gotta have all these little cute stickers and things to put in my planner when I don't really want them. So why am I thinking I gotta have them? Well, because that's what I see everywhere, you know. It gets in there, even though you know better than to be a follower and do what everyone else is doing. It gets in there. So I had my aha moment. Quit trying to make yourself a cute planner like everyone else has. Even on this one, you can see I was torn. The outside is very much me. It is just a messy mess, and I love it. The inside, I was trying to be cute, because that's what I thought I had to be, and I wanted to be like everyone else, so I made it very sweet, and it's just not me. So, came to my senses, decided to break out of the cute and see if that was actually the problem. And please understand that I am not criticizing cute at all. I very much appreciate cute. It's just not my personal style. This is more my personal style. I actually went through a stack of, these are the drop papers that I use when I'm painting. And I pulled some out. This is probably about a maybe a year's worth, because I've pulled some in that time and used them, but for the most part, I've just been keeping them in a pile and not doing anything. So I pulled out a big stack of these drop papers, and last night I went through and just put a light coat of Mod Podge over them just to seal them. I used a credit card and just squeegeed it on really light, and that is just because there are so many different inks and paints and sprays and blobs on here. I don't even know what's on here. And I'm really glad I put the Mod Podge on, because when I was doing it, some of the color started to bleed. So I would rather deal with it now than after I get it attached in a book. You know what I'm saying? So I did go through and Mod Podge them, and I also, some of them had tears in them where they'd stuck together, or, the paint dried on them and they ripped, whatever. So I repaired the little holes, and then I just kind of sealed them up. They all look, very similar. And some of them, okay, here's what I learned. I will not do this again. Because my mind is saying use both sides of the paper, because, let's don't waste. Okay, but now I'd used both sides, and then I had to decide which side I was going to use. And I used these knowing that at some point I'm going to do something with them later on, so I need to just use one side so that I don't have the trauma trying to decide which side I like. I ended up choosing that one. So I think this one has to be my favorite. I think I was watercoloring that day. Some have stamps on them, but there they go. I decided to use some of those and make a new book for the rest of this year, from July through the end of the year. It's the size that I want, which makes me happy. So, I can still incorporate some of the ideas and the types of pages that I used in here, because this was my learning experience right here, but with a larger format and the style that I like. I covered it with a piece of drop paper. I got it all ready to, I was fixing to put the next page in, and then decided, oh, maybe I should film. Someone might be interested. So I stuck that drop paper on there, and then on the inside, this back one had a pocket, so I did my best to keep the pocket intact. But for the inside paper, I used these are some of the paper towels that I use when I'm painting, just to kind of clean my brushes off. Sometimes they end up really pretty and I keep them. And I've also got this is my bucket o' painted paper, where I keep all my painted papers, and these are some more of the drop papers that didn't make the cut for this project, but I'll save them for another one. So I've got that here in case there's something in there that I want to use. But my intention is to go through and, instead of using some scrapbook papers, use some of these funky drop papers to cover my pages and add color. So I did this first one, and in this book here, the first page was my plastic covered one, where you put the sticky things. So I'm going to do that here because I like that. I like the way that turned out. And I'm probably going to put a pocket, maybe even this one, in here too, like I did this one. And so I'm going to set it up similar to this one, but we're just going to start with July and go through the end of the year. And this book actually worked really well because this is not a composition book. This is a Moleskine Cahier, C-A-H-I-E-R. It's one of those. It's sort of the Moleskine's version of a composition book, and it comes either blank, lined, or grid, and I happen to have this grid one, and I had used it for something else, so I probably ripped a good 15 pages out of it already, so it was already smaller. So it's totally upside down. So it ended up being just the perfect size for half a year. So that's where I'm going. I'm excited about it. So I'm thinking maybe this might be the answer to my my planner problems. I don't really have any problems. I'm just having trouble getting on board with it. Maybe this is why. So that's what I'm doing. I did go through, I sort of planned out which pages I wanted where, and that's what these tabs are. They're just kind of messy little tabs for the months, where the month will start, and then, you know, for the different areas where I will have tabs, they'll go on here. These are temporary, so that I could just count out my pages, make sure I have enough, you know, allot X number of pages for this and for that. You know, did all that ahead of time. Then I went through and glued some of the pages together, not all of them, but like where I'm going to do my monthly calendar. Remember, in this book, that's one thing I said I wished I had done, was glue some of the pages together because they were so see-through. These Moleskine books, the pages are not as flimsy as a composition book, so they're not nearly as see-through, but there's still a little bit of see-through-ishness going on. So I decided that everywhere on the pages where I was going to have my monthly calendar, you know, I would just go ahead and double those. So that's what I did. I went through and just made double, glued 2 sheets together on every section where I'm going to have my monthly calendar, so that there won't be any, you know, you won't be seeing it from the back side. And then after each monthly calendar spread page, and I left a couple of blank ones to do my, you know, daybook journaling thing on. So that's all I did as far as prepping. Just figure out, you know, where I wanted to double up the pages and then glue them together. You can glue them together with whatever. Use a glue stick, or I happen to have, this was laying out, Elmer's Craft Bond Paper Craft Glue Gel. And it's pretty good. It's in typical Elmer's fashion. It buckles. You know, never met an Elmer's that didn't. I don't care for Elmer's, if you can tell. So it does buckle a little bit, but in this case, I really didn't mind so much because it kind of gave it some texture and kind of gave it some, made it a little more casual, and which kind of goes with my theme is very casual. It's not neat and pristine and, you know, flat. So it's got a little bit of texture, but not so much that I can't still write on the pages. So that's gonna, I think that's gonna work out really well. So that's what I did first, and now I'm at the point where I'm just going in and I'm just gluing some decorative papers down on the pages where I want them. You know, like the ones I did here, instead of where I used scrapbook paper in this book, I'm going to use painted papers in my new one. And for that, mostly what I'm using is good old Yes Paste. But, you know, use whatever you're comfortable with. I'll do one to show you that it's not that tedious. I mean, it's not more tedious than putting a piece of scrapbook paper on there, you know. But I do kind of protect my other pages with some wax paper that has seen better days. I just use it till it falls apart. Okay. Then I get my already Mod Podged sheet out and cut it down to, you know, much bigger than I actually need, but cut it down a little bit because it was on a huge piece. Then get my Yes Paste. Oh. Okay, it's really not a good idea to leave your applicator in there like that, because, you know, it's just gross. Alright. And I forgot to get a scoop or something to get that out with. It's so far down in there, I get it all over my hand when I go to get some out. That's okay. I'll put it in a little container or just in the lid. Makes it easier. Plus, you know, I like to water it down a little bit, and putting it in a different container makes it easy. Just sprinkle some water on there. And thin it out just a little bit. Alrighty. Now, I just used my little handy dandy Walmart gift card. And put on the glue. So don't worry about getting it on this page, because I'm going to do something on that page too. So it's not a big deal. Now if it was a page that I wanted to keep all nice and blank, then I would protect it with some wax paper or something. Paper sacks actually make a nice little protector thing for your pages, because you can slip them inside the paper sack. I'll show that one day. I may have already. I don't know. Okay. So get a pretty good even coat. Sometimes I have to hold it up so I can see where I've got it. We look good. And then I just decide which way I want this. This looks right set up to me. So I'm going to stick it right there. And yes, paste dries really slow. I don't get it right up into the crease right here, just right next to it. Because if you get it up into the crease, it's going to cause problems later on when your book gets thicker and you're trying to turn pages. Yeah, it just doesn't work. So right up to the crease, but not in it. Squish it down, and then got this rag I was using yesterday, and I'm just putting a little bit of water on it and wiping off any excess glue. That's also the good thing about Yes, is the excess glue. As long as you catch it before it dries, it wipes up with water really well. No matter how careful I try to be, I always get it on the neighboring pages, and of course it's all over the thing, so when I shut the book again, it's still going to be there. Okay. And this is also another good reason why you Mod Podge before you glue down, because it's much easier to wipe the glue off of the Mod Podge coated sheet than it is a plain sheet. Okay, that feels good. These cahiers are also made a lot more sturdy than the composition books, so I don't worry so much about reinforcing them or, you know, making them too fat and having them fall apart. They're stitched much closer together, and you'll notice, like, you can't really pull the cover away from the book block at the top and bottom on here like you can on a composition book. And I don't even know if that makes any sense. But see how I can just, there's a big space at the top and bottom between the book block and the cover. There's probably a good ½ inch. And then the stitches are probably a good ½ inch apart. And then you've got another gap at the top. And that is just, that's one of the reasons these fall apart so easy. With the cahier, you don't get that. You can't pull it at the top or the bottom. And the stitches, let's see how far apart they are. I remember September was about in the midpoint. Yeah, the stitches are much closer together. They're probably more of a ½ inch apart rather than ½ inch. So these are just made much better. They are more expensive. You're not going to find these for $1. Just saying. But then again, you get what you pay for. Right. Okay. Let's let this dry. And then, yeah, it's doing good. We'll give it just a couple more minutes, and then we'll trim it and move on. Okay, I moved in a little closer so you can see my book and the pages. Now here's the one that we just glued down a minute ago, and I just went ahead and let it dry, well, pretty much, and trimmed around it, and then I just make sure that there's no lifting on the edges, because that makes me homicidal when that happens. So no lifty edges, so that looks good. And then I thought I'd just go ahead and do the next page, and I put the glue down, but before I put the paper on, I just slipped the flap of this envelope on there. Just put the flap of the envelope on the glued page, put a little bit more glue on the envelope flap, and then stuck the paper over it. So that gives me a little, what do you call it? An inclusion. Yes, I have an inclusion. And this was just a last minute idea, so I haven't Mod Podged this envelope, and I will probably do that, because I noticed when I was spreading the glue right here, I was getting a little bit of inky on my finger, so I think it needs some sealing. But this one is pretty much dry, and always check the edges real good, and you can tell right here, well, I don't know if you can tell, but you can see the gap right there. It doesn't go all the way to the center. There is a little gap, and you need that for it to open and close right. But it's ready to either trim, or I thought I'd show you too, what you can do is fold your edges over, you know, just like you were covering a book or something. And you know, you can always do that. It does help to kind of build your paper up and make it stronger, reinforce it a little bit. So I thought I would do that on this one. And all I did was took my scissors. Of course, I forgot to film it, but I made a snip here going in this direction so that, you know, it's a little flap. Snip here so that the cut is in that direction. You can see, and that left me with this weird corner here, which I just kind of trimmed down so that I can fold that in. So that will cover my corner, and then I can fold these two, and there won't be a gap. But before I do anything, we got to glue. So I'll just go ahead and use I think my credit card's probably not the best tool. I'm going to use a wet brush to just brush on some more of my paste. You can use, you know, whatever glue you like. Yes, usually works well for covering books and gluing pages together, you know, if you have to glue the whole darn page together. I like a good solid coating of glue underneath, but so many of them buckle the paper, and yes does not. Okay, well, I think that's good. And then the first thing is you do your little corners like that. I had to turn off the overhead light because I was getting glare. Now I'm getting shadows from the window, so I just can't win. Hopefully you can tell what I'm doing. Surely you can. It's not hard anyway. Put a little glue on the tabby thing because these are going to fold over on top. Take this, make sure it folds all the way to the end, and you can cut it a notch there if you, or that way if you want. In fact, I think I probably will, just to keep it from getting too bulky on the inside corners. Obviously you don't have to cut it well. And this is going to have another piece on top, you know, when I figure out which page I want to use to cover it. So it don't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. Did I do that corner? Yeah, did that corner. Fold this over. Oh, got my little notch. Watch me forget to clean these scissors. Oh my gosh, they'll be ruined. Note to self, clean your scissors. Okay. Now, this edge piece. Alright, press everything down good. That yes is good and sticky. Except for right there. I'm fussy about my corners and edges. Okay, I'm going to wipe off some excess glue because I'm just sticking to it and pulling everything up. You do kind of have to be careful because the water will fade your grid lines. And if this is a page where you want your grid lines to show, you know, that could be undesirable. But I am going to end up covering this whole page anyway, so it doesn't matter. I just want the excess sticky off of there. There we go. And make sure we don't have any going on over here. Alrighty. So there's your two options. Trim around your excess paper or fold it over and then you can put another one here, which is what I will end up doing. But I'm not going to film the whole thing because, for goodness sakes, if it's gluing paper down, I think we can all handle that, or at least wing it, fake it. Okay, so that's where I am right now. That's where I'm going. This is the plan for today. And I'll do some more work on this. And we'll see where it goes. I may love it, I may hate it, but you know what? Doesn't matter, because I've enjoyed the process, and that's the point.